Hello and welcome to Ewe Sew You. My name's Zoe and this is my channel all about the crafty bits and pieces I get up to. I knit, I sew, I spin on a spindle, I dabble in weaving from time to time and anything else that takes my crafty fancy. But today we're taking a look at all the things I've been working on in November, so grab a brew, put your feet up and let's get started. So welcome back to any returning viewers, and to any new viewers a very warm welcome to you. As I mentioned at the opening to the video, we're looking at the things I've been working on during November. So let's get started with what I am wearing. This is the new Craft House Everyday Waistcoat, which I made in a cord from Minerva and a random piece of cotton lining from that online retailer that sells everything under the sun. It was like £1 a metre. I've padded this with a cotton wadding. It's a quilted pattern, so I've not done like heavy quilting lines through it or anything, but it does give it that extra little bit of warmth. I am planning on making some more of these, maybe with a bit of thicker batting for colder weather, maybe with a bit of quilting, like patchworky quilting on the outside, probably with a bit more heavy quilting lines on it. It comes with little pockets. You can put little ties on it to fasten it. I didn't with this one. I might do another one, or I might adapt it for buttons to give it more of a close look. It's a really straightforward make in terms of the pattern, and particularly if you're not patchworking and not doing heavy quilting and stuff. You're just putting the 3 layers together. Really straightforward, really simple. I made some bias tape out of the lining fabric. So yeah, really straightforward, really fun to make, really quick to make, and super practical for sort of autumny, wintry weather as an additional layer. I think the more depending on what wadding you use and how much wadding you use, that's going to affect the thickness of it and therefore the warmth of it, as well the fabrics that you choose. You can make it reversible if you want. You don't have to put the pockets on, for instance. So yes, there's lots of variations that you could do with a very straightforward, when you look at the line drawings of it, pattern. So recommend that one. Okay, so that's my what I am wearing, and I can see me wearing it a fair bit more over the coming months. I didn't wear it as much in autumn as I thought I would, but our autumn this year was relatively mild, whereas winter is a bit more autumnal at the moment. I don't think technically it becomes winter until towards the end of December, but we'd expect colder weather at this point of the year normally. So yeah, so it's just getting a lot better at the moment. I can see it getting a lot more through till probably around about April time. So yeah, liking that. Moving on to works in progress, and I do have a few to show you this month. No, let's do finished objects first. That's what we normally do, isn't it? Finished objects, because I'm sitting on them, that's the problem. Okay, I have 2 finished objects, neither of which you've seen before. Now, as I mentioned, we're having kind of autumnal weather on the whole at the moment, but we did have a cold snap for about a week and it snowed, which is quite early for us here to get snow in November. But I only had fingerless mitts, so I thought, oh, if we're going to get cold weather like that, I need some mittens. So I've made myself a pair of the world's simplest mittens, Tin Can Knits, using their app. It's a free pattern that's enclosed in their app. This is with the leftover main colour yarn from my Jethro cardigan, so it's in DK weight. The pattern does give you the option for about 4 different yarn weights. You put in which weight you want, which size you want, and it churns out the numbers for you in the app, which is kind of handy. And it follows along the rows as well. I quite like the Tin Can Knits app. You'll be looking at these and you'll be thinking, they look rather slim. They are. This is the adult small pattern, which according to my measurements was the right size for me. Perhaps my gauge is a little tighter than theirs. I didn't measure the gauge. They do fit, they do go on. They are a snug fit, which is fine. I quite like snug mittens. It means that when it's super cold, I can put my fingerless mitts on the outside of them for an extra layer of warmth. And there's not lots of extra fabric getting in your way, which you can get with some of the loose mittens. However, I will probably go up a needle size if I make these again. The first mitten is snugger than the second. The reason for that being that I added in some extra rows at this point and at this point for a bit more length. On both of them I have added in extra length on the thumbs, and I picked up an extra couple of stitches as well for the thumbs because my thumbs are chunkier than people expect for my size of hand. So yes, they do fit. They are a snug fit, but that's okay. And yeah, I think I will be continuing to tweak these. Maybe another couple of rows here, maybe another extra row here, and up a needle size. I might just go up a needle size first and use the numbers I use for the second bit to see how that goes. But yeah, I might need to do a little bit more fudging just for the custom fit for me. But they are useful, they work, they do the job, and that's the main thing. We don't want blue fingers. Okay, so that's my first finished object. And my second finished object was a super quick make. I could have done it in one sitting. I didn't. I did it over two. I picked up some sugar and cream in the faded denim colourway. This is what I've got left from this project, because one of my dishcloths had a fatal accident. It is quite on my older dishcloth. It was one I knitted a few years ago now. So they don't last forever anyway, but they do sometimes get caught on sharp knives and that kind of thing, and then they just unravel. So I still have a crocheted dishcloth that's going strong and has been going strong for about a year or two, but I needed to replace the one that was falling apart, the knitted one, so I've crocheted another one. This is my new dishcloth. Put my teeth straight. This is my new dishcloth. This is the Tunisian Alpine Stitch pattern. It's available on Ravelry and on the designer's blog post. If you link through from Ravelry, it'll take you to her website where you can get the pattern for free, or there's an ad-free paid download as well. She did a year of dishcloth patterns, like a couple of months of crochet dishcloth, so they're all available on the website. I will link to that down below. Designer's name escapes me at the moment. Bear with me a second. So I have it open on the iPad. I thought I had it open on the iPad. Yes, I do. Sarah Ruan, Ned and Mimi. Okay, so she's done quite a lot of them. I quite like the crocheted dishcloths. I think I'll probably be crocheting more rather than knitting. A, because crochet is quite quick, but B, because you get this nice texture with some of the fancy stitches on the front and the back, which I find quite useful in a dishcloth for scrubbing away more stubborn bits of grime. So yeah, so that's that one. I will eventually buy myself a cone of sugar and cream. I like it for dishcloths. It's easy to get hold of in the UK. Some of the dishcloth cottons are not so easy to get hold of in the UK. In fact, most of them aren't. At least I haven't found them easy to come across. My yarn shop doesn't sell them. So it's what I can get on that online retailer, or going to like American companies and getting it imported, which is faff. But at least that online retailer, horrible as they are, they do deliver quickly. And they do stock quite a good range of sugar and cream, and they have the balls like this that are, I think it's probably about 50 grams, the size of it, maybe 100 grams because cotton's quite heavy. But yeah, they're relatively small skeins of yarn. Just looking to see if it's got the information on there. Here we go. Yeah, 2 ounce, 56.7 grams, and that does me one dishcloth with a bit left over. So I could probably do some little small scrubbies or something with it, maybe 1 or 2. So that gives you 95 yards, 86 meters. So it's relatively affordable. It's quick to get hold of, and they do have the bigger cones as well. So I'll be investing in a cone or 2, so that when my dishcloths do wear out, I've got the yarn on hand to replace them rather than having to order it and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's my 2 finished objects. Now we actually are going to move on to my works in progress. First up, let's take a look at my Wellsbury sweater. So this is an And Other Knits pattern, and I've knit up the body, but you might notice it looks very, very short. So either my gauge is way off, or I miscalculated the number of rows per colour. It's okay, It sits on just on the waistband, so for like high-waisted things and over dresses, might be fine. Might be a little bit short, so I might have to undo the cast off and extend the ribbing a little bit. Where she has you pick up for the sleeves though is really quite low down. And it is a bit less round than I thought it might be. So my plan, because I know that holst yarn does tend to grow that way when you block it and doesn't always grow that way. Sometimes it shrinks vertically. So I'm going to block it. I'm going to pin it out and block it. I am holding the holst super soft with mohair to mitigate, to get a bit of extra warmth, but also to mitigate some of that shrinkage in the length. So I'm going to block it relatively aggressively and try and seam up the sides and then pick up the stitches. She actually has you in the pattern pick up the stitches flat, but because I'm not convinced by where they're being picked up that that's the right place for my gauge, which is different to hers. So I'm going to block it first, seam it, and then work it out and decide if I need to undo the cast off edge, which I don't really want to do, but if I have to, I have to, and extend the ribbing by another couple of inches, which would be fine. I mean, it'll make on half of each, the front and the back, it'll make the dark block a lot thicker than the others, but on the other side it'll balance out the stripes a bit, so not overly concerned by that. But I could do another inch and be happy with the length of that ribbing, particularly if I then do the same depth of ribbing at the cuff, which will make, because I'm planning on doing the bishop sleeves, I'll just give extra drama to them. So yeah, so this has been sitting to one side until I get around to blocking it and seaming it and that kind of thing for a little while. Little disappointed at the moment in how it's going, but I think we all go through those phases with our knit projects, don't we? Well, sometimes they will go perfectly well from beginning to end, we're happy with them and love every stitch. Sometimes they're a bit of a slog. Sometimes we get to the point of, not so sure about this one. I am looking forward to having that sweater finished. I think it'll be nice and cosy, and I don't mind having a slightly more cropped sweater that I can wear over dresses and over high-waisted things. As long as it meets the waistband of my jeans, I'm okay with it lengthwise normally. I'm quite happy to wear like shirt tails dangling out the bottom of a sweater, that kind of thing. I don't know how that would work with that particular sweater because of the style of the sleeves and the neckline and what have you, but that's a when the sweater's finished issue. So that's that one sitting to one side, waiting for me to block it. The next one I haven't shown you for a while. This project has been on the needles for over a year now. It is the reason that I subscribed to the Knitter magazine at the end of 2023, because the subscription came with the kit to knit this particular pattern. I like the look of the item made up, so I thought, right, well, I'll get that. And it was a make along within the magazine, so the pattern came out in 4 parts over subsequent months. They're on a different make along at the moment. It's a Shetland Hapshawl at the moment, but this one is the Barragan wrap. It's off the needles at the moment with stitches on hold, because I am halfway through section 2 of 4. There's no rush on this. I don't need it by any particular date, but how gorgeous are these colours? So Macintosh yarns, it's a BFL hand dyed. The name of the colourway escapes me at the moment, but it came as a kit, these two together. This was the first section with this lovely sort of diamond shaped lace pattern. It will look much better once it's blocked, obviously. Second section was this border here and this mesh up to here, which I now need to pick up and repeat on this side. So this is when I'm in the mood for a bit of lace knitting, not necessarily watching anything in particular on TV, and certainly not reading. I am enjoying it, but it's going to be on the needles for a while longer. I'm not even halfway through yet. One thing I have been doing is I have not been consistent in slipping stitches at the start of each row. And because there's a border that goes the whole way around it, that's going to be interesting when it comes to pick up stitches for the border. Sometimes I've done it, sometimes I haven't. I'm more likely to do it on the right side row than the wrong side row, I've discovered, which is stupid because it's a garter border that you're starting both rows with knits. But yeah, that's a future issue, picking up stitches all the way around the border of what will be a very long wrap. Yeah, colours work so well together. It's going to be nice and cosy. Looking forward to it, but it probably won't be done before like next winter. It's fine. There's no rush. Because yeah, you have to be in the right mood for lace knitting, I find. And my third and final work in progress to show you before we get on to my thinking for December is my Lopi project. So this is the yarn that I bought in Iceland when I was on honeymoon. I bought it at the Hand Knitting Association of Iceland in Reykjavik, and I'm trying to work up a sort of outerwear jackety type cardigan, as it's not next to skin friendly yarn. It's very much an outerwear type of yarn. So I'm trying to work this project up in as close to the traditional way of working of an Icelandic sweater. It can't be technically called a Lopapeysa, technically a Lopi sweater, because I'm not actually in Iceland. But everything else, the hand knitting it, the working from the bottom up, the using the DPNs, the colour work, all that kind of thing, working in the round, we're doing that. So I have one full sleeve with all my stitch markers in to mark my increases as I went up. I've got a colour work band at the cuff there. So that's my first sleeve done. And I have started my second sleeve. So I've got the cuff and the colour work done. I'm just about to start working my first increase round to go up there. Once this sleeve is done and on hold, I can probably actually leave it on the DPNs for this one. I can then cast on the body, work the body up to the armpits, and then they'll all get joined together. Yeah, these DPNs, although they are relatively short DPNs, they are long enough for me to do the entirety of the sleeve on without switching out to magic loop. So that was nice, without not having to change needles after I'd done the cuff. So go up, do the cuff on the small size, which were longer DPNs, switch to these ones, and then that's me done for the whole sleeve. And they're not slipping off. So although they're metal needles, the yarn is quite grippy. So they're just staying in place. So I may or may not put that on this sleeve on a cable when I get to the top as I'm knitting the body up. We shall see. So yeah, so once I've got this sleeve done and the body done, I can do the colour work yoke, and then steek it and do I'm planning on a zip. Don't know why. My other half thinks I should do buttons, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel when I get to that stage, and if I've worked out how to actually insert zips into knitting, because I've not done that before. But yeah, there will be steeking and all sorts with this project. So that's my works in progress. Hoping to get this one done by early January so that I can do some finished up videos with you for it. I've already done the sort of design process and the calculation process videos, and I've done just like a vlog style of knitting that first sleeve. So I'm planning on doing like a wrap up of knitting the rest of it and inserting the zip video in January at some point, assuming I've got the knitting done. The other sweater would have been nice to have had it done by now. I've only got the sleeves left to do, assuming it fits once it's blocked, and the neckline ribbing, so it's not a million miles away. But realistically, because I'm in a little bit of a funk with it, it might take a little bit longer. And the wrap, as I say, I've got no deadline on that one. It's just as the mood takes me, I'll knit a bit on that, and that's fine. So I'm looking forward to December. I'm not doing Vlogmas as such this year, mostly because there's not really new things happening this year that I haven't shown you in the past, and it's a lot of time and hard work to get the daily excerpts done and put up. So I think for the amount of value that you're going to be getting out of it, the amount of time it takes just doesn't match up. If I was in a position where I was going to be doing lots of stuff through December to show you, then that would be different, but I'm not. I haven't really got any plans for December until the day itself, so it wouldn't be very interesting. What I'm going to be doing instead is I am going to be doing some Christmassy themed projects. I've got some embroidery to try out, a hardanger project to try out. There's a Christmassy hardanger, which I've not done before, so I'll show you how that goes. I might show you how I made lactose-free butter, you never know. It depends whether I make a second batch or not. So the husband is lactose intolerant, and brandy butter made with margarine type stuff, which is what the lactose-free butter is like, wouldn't really work. So I've learned how to make butter, surprisingly easy. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, Christmassy theme projects. I still haven't finished my cross-stitch table runner, so I might show you that as actually make me sit down and work on it for a while during December, you never know. But I do have a couple of knitting projects that will be happening through December that I'll be showing you, certainly in the Betwixtmas wrap up, if not in between time through the December videos. It'll just be my usual weekly schedule for December. So first up, I picked up a skein of West Yorkshire Spinners Yuletide in their sparkle base. Now, I believe this is this year's Christmas colourway. I could be wrong, but I think it's this year's. This is the one that I've seen in the adverts this year. So there will be a pair of socks. Obviously I need to cake up this yarn. I think I'll probably do contrast heels, toes and cuffs. Certainly toes and cuffs, maybe heel. Now that I've worked out how to do a heel flap and gusset, toe up, we'll see. What I haven't worked out is how to do a contrast heel with heel flap and gusset, which is why the hesitation on if I do a contrast heel. But I do like the West Yorkshire Spinners yarn for socks, and I do like having their Christmas colourways. So yeah, so the plan is to get that caked up and cast on this weekend. I'm filming on the 29th of November, so Advent starts on Sunday. So that's that project. Christmas socks. I do like having socks on the needle, and I haven't had any socks on the needles for a little while. My other Christmassy knitting project, excuse the rustling because it's in plastic wrap. I might just, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I might have to take it out of its plastic, but we'll see. My stepmother has been unnecessarily but appreciatively generous again, and has provided me with the pattern and some yarn for the Imagined Landscape December Mystery Knit Along Gnome, which is Nana, which is hilarious. My mother goes by Nana with the nieces. So yeah, so she's brought me the little yarn kit, but I've left in its packaging for now. Yeah, too much shine there. Let me just rustle and get the yarn out. So this is Lamington Lass yarns in the Robin Redbreast colourway. So just use the plastic rustling as I get this out. So there are 4 minis, and I'm not going to open this little package. This is a pair of glasses for the gnome. I'm going to leave that in there until I actually need to attach them to the gnome so that they don't get damaged. They're all bubble wrapped up. They look like 1.5 inch wide glasses. So the Lamington Lass yarns kit for Nana, it's in BFL minis, so superwash BFL. There are 4 colours, and she's numbered the colourways, so I don't need to decide which order to do them in. So this is colourway 1, which is blood red. Then we have chestnut, which is number 2. Latte is number 3. And snowflake is number 4. So that's the 4 colours together. So I need to get these wound up as well, because the first clue for that comes out on Sunday. So apparently you don't get a knitting clue every day. Sometimes you get a story, sometimes you get recipes and things. So that'll be interesting. I've not knit one of the Imagined Landscapes gnomes before, but I have been eyeing them up for quite a while. I know a few people who've done the mystery knit-alongs as well. So yeah, so that'll be fun. So it's 2 Christmassy knitting projects. Talked about the hardanger, which would be little tree ornament angels. A hardanger is something I've not done before either, which is why I'm going to document it. And I've got the Christmas cross stitch to make some progress on. I don't think it'll be finished for Christmas this year. It's been on the go for 2 Christmases. I don't know about you, but I can't work on Christmassy like embroideries and stuff at any other time of the year. It needs to be November, December, occasionally a little bit into January. If I could actually sit down in like maybe July and work on a Christmas project, I'd have things done by the Christmas. But it just feels wrong to work on them in the summer. So yes, it'll take a while to get that done, but that's fine. We've got a round dining table anyway, and the table runner is rectangular, so maybe by the time I've finished it, we'll have a rectangular table to put it on, or a sideboard. Anywho, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. In the meantime, there's this one here that might be of interest to you, and I will see you soon. But until then, happy crafting and bye-bye for now.